Liber Ararita. There we are. We're on chapter 4 today. And it's been a rushed morning. But I wanted to show off my coffee cup. Okay, there's the I'm Babylon coffee cup. And on the other side is the second album, Babylon 2. We just unpacked a bunch of stuff, including these things. Be that as it may, we got to get on with today's thing. We are on, like I say, Liber Ararita. We're on the 4th chapter. Now remember what I said at the very first. Okay. We contrast each chapter of each verse of chapter 1 with the corresponding verse of chapter 2. Okay, we go through a 7-phase meditation here. And so the first section gives at least an upright idea. And of course, we come down the tree of life in these 14 verses. And then the second chapter is the a verse, or just the contradiction of the first. And the third, which we did yesterday, is the quintessence of those two. So when they, as an example, the first one for number 4, which would be Hesed on the tree of life, or the sphere of Jupiter. Thou hast appeared to me as a jocund and ruddy God, full of majesty, a king, a father in his prime. Thus didst thou bear the scepter of the universe, crowned with the wheel of spirit. But in number 2, we go a verse with the thing. I saw them merciless and unmajestic, like harpies tearing at their food. I saw thee in these. So that was the flip side of the Jovian thing. And then it synthesizes, or the quintessence of those two things canceling each other out the verse corresponding to number 4 would be, I did thank him for his his manifold mercy. I did worship his magnificence and majesty. So you can see a change. You got an idea, and then you oppose that idea with its opposite, and then get a little epiphany when both of those serve to energize and cancel each other out. The fourth section is these ideas reappear again, only they're appointed by the will of the adept. So in other words, there's a new, improved, upright way of looking at things. The adept, if you will, in number 4, has achieved kind of the next plateau of awakening. And you sort of see this progressing with how each verse is handled. The first verse, or the first A in Ararita, everything is thou art, thou hast appeared to me, thou hast appeared to me, thou hast appeared to me. Okay? But in the second one, everything is I saw thee in the darkness. I saw the merciless monkey thing. I saw the ravens of death. See how the I has separated us already. When you start to think in terms of I and you, or I or they, okay, you're already injecting duality. It's the fall from Eden. So why in the Kabbalistic retelling of Genesis, when God sort of awakens Adam And Adam is in innocence and totally like all the other animals in the garden. But then God says, name, name these animals. Okay, I give you the power to name the animals. And so, in order to do that, Adam would have to go, oh, giraffe. And when he said that, he's also saying, giraffe, not me. Okay. That may be a giraffe, but it's not
Good morning,
me.
Lon.
Morning, I'm on.
Never mind, I'll call back in about 15 minutes.
Okay, we might be gone by then.
Okay.
Okay. That's my friend Sel from Salt Lake City. So, in other words, when Adam started to name things, he immediately separated himself from those things. It truly was the fall. That's why in the opening verses, in the opening sentences of the Tao Te Ching, it says the nameless. The nameless was cool, but the named was the mother of the myriad creatures. So everything was a nice, smooth, blissful unity before it was named. While it was nameless, it was still in total pure potentiality. But once you start naming it, so even in Liber Ararita, the first one is, thou hast appeared to me as a da 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 da. Thou hast appeared to me. And the second one is, I saw thee in this. But the third one, which is the quintessence, takes it into I and him, I and his. So number 4 was, I did thank him for his manifest. Okay, I trembled before his might. Okay, so that's number 4. But now number 5, the idea, or excuse me, number 4, the ideas reappear from the appointed the ideas reappear in the form that's appointed by the adept. So you're not even who you are. You start to be who you are in this 4th verse. You start to be the adept, having gone through those first 3 phases. So that's what we're going to cover today. 0. Also, the little child, the lover of Adonai. Even VVVVV. Now, VVVVV is the initials of Crowley's motto for his grade of Master of the Temple, which is the level of consciousness one achieves when they hit the 3rd sephira of the Tree of Life, when they've crossed the abyss, when they've arrived at the supernal triad. So, 0. Also the little child, the babe of the abyss that lands in number 3. Also the little child, the lover of Adonai, even VVVVV, reflecting the glory of Adonai, lifted up his voice and said. Now each one of these is just going to blend into the next one. It's in the process of the adept homogenizing. Glory to God and thanksgiving to God. There is one God alone, and God is exceedingly great. He is about us, and there is no strength save in him, the exalted and the great. Thus did VVVVV become mad. and wend about naked. And all these things fled away, for he understood them all, that they were but as old rags upon divine perfection. Also he pitied them all, that they should be reflections distorted. Also he smote them, lest they should bear rule over the just. Also he harmonized them into one picture, beautiful to behold. And thus, having conquered them, there was certain glamour of holiness, even in the hollow sphere of outward brilliance, so that all became splendid. And having firmly established them in order and disposition, remember the foundation, number 9, the foundation? Having firmly established them in order and disposition, 10, he proclaimed the perfection, bride, the delight of God in his creation. That's the coolest one, in my opinion, number 4 here. But we go on. Number 11, but though thus he worked, he tried ever his work by the star 418. 12, and it deceived him not, for by his subtlety he expanded it all into the 12 rays of the crown. And I bet you can guess what the 13th one is. And these 12 rays were one. Okay, that's where we are going to leave it today. Tomorrow we'll pick up on number 5 and further develop this meditation. And so I hope you can start your weekend early. Start it right now. Do it for me and tell me about it. And tell me if you had any fun. Okay. I hope my friend Sel from Salt Lake City calls me back, and we'll see you tomorrow for Saturday morning with Lon. Until then, be good to yourself and be good to each other, please. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.